Hey everybody, so here we are up in the Black Canyon Lake area, up on the Mogollon Rim. It's nice and cool up here out of the 115-degree heat in Phoenix, and I'm about to put together another awesome one-pot meal. We're going to cook it in our Adventure Kings Baduri pot. And what I've got here is I've got some olive oil we're going to put in. I got some red potatoes, sweet potatoes, some red onion, some beef sausage. This can work with kielbasa or whatever you want to put in there. Some carrots, and then I've got some spices here. Got some rosemary, garlic, moringa, kale, basils, just to, spice it up a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of olive oil going in the pot, which I already have the fire going. We'll put a little bit of that in there. Might add a little bit later, but we're going to let that heat up. And we'll go to the red potatoes. And these don't have to be tiny, but small enough so they can get some cook going. And we're just going to throw those right into the oil. One ran away on me, no problem. I'll find it later. And obviously, if you come across any bad ones or bad spots or anything like that, you can cut them out, set them aside. Little spot right there, get rid of that. And I'm cooking for 4, so I'm going to do quite a bit of veggies, and then the whole beef kielbasa there, called a beef smoked sausage, but it's essentially a kielbasa. Get some potatoes. Then I'm going to do a little bit of sweet potato. This is pretty easy. Get it cut up into the pot to cook. So I always want to start out with some of the harder vegetables. I think I'm a little off balance here, so we're going to tilt it a little bit. We want these to cook up because the smoked sausage or kielbasa, whichever you decide to use, is usually pre-cooked. So that goes in last. But we get some of these hard vegetables in first to make sure they get cooked up and softened. Hopefully that makes sense, hard vegetables, but all right, we're going to get some red onion cut up. We started to do some sweet potato, but the sweet potato I had was a little bit mushy and wasn't good enough for my meal. So we're going to the onion next. And these pieces don't have to be tiny, but let's get some of the dry stuff off the outside here. Maybe we'll take this first layer off here. And right in we go. Dry layer off. Like I said, they don't have to be tiny chunks. Good flavor with the red onion. I think this is actually a sweet red onion. In we go. Give this a stir. Got the potatoes have been going for a couple minutes here. Got to get them softened up. I got a fly buzzing me that really wants a part of this. So, all right. All right, next up, we're going to get some carrots in there. I'm going to save some of these, though, because I want to munch on some later. And we'll get these sliced into rounds. And right into the pot it goes. Hopefully I don't take my finger off. That would be funny for you guys. Right into the pot. I've got the heat turned down right now. I'm going to turn it up a little bit once I get all the veggies in. These are good, crisp carrots. Into the pot we go. All right, so now we're going to give that a stir. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on this for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to let them cook and soften up, and then we'll get to the meat of the matter. All right, it's been about 12 or 15 minutes. The vegetables are cooking nicely. Let's take a look in the pot and see how they look. All right, everything's cooking up well. And I don't know if you've noticed this little guy here, but I got this awesome folding tool kit, kitchen kit, from Alpha Outpost, and I've used it several times cooking, and it's never let me down. It's got a knife, a basting brush, a fork, and of course the spatula that I'm using constantly. So we'll use it. We're going to give it a little stir. The carrots and the potatoes are softening up. Everything's getting a little bit of a toast on it. So next up, I'm going to go over here and we're going to do a little bit of yellow squash, and this is cube of butter squash right out of our garden. So we're going to slice up some chunks of that. We wait until later on the squash for a couple reasons. One, it's going to add some moisture, and two, it's a lot softer than those other vegetables I just put in, so it's not going to take as long to cook. So we're going to get some cubes of this cut up and into the pot. More here. Then I'm going to get some spices in there, and we'll get the sausage cut up. So, like I said, the sausage and the squash doesn't take as long to cook up, so those get added last. So we'll stir that in, and then I'm going to go to my spices here. So this one here is basil, garlic, moringa, and kale. And it's all. I'm also using it on my breakfast. So I'm only going to use part of it in here. I'm going to put a little bit of spice in there. And then we'll go to my second bag, which is some fresh rosemary, or some dehydrated rosemary anyway. Get a pinch of that. That in there. Some nice flavor. And then we're going to go and slice up the kielbasa, or smoked sausage in this case. And most of these that you're going to find are pre-cooked, so we're essentially just heating these up. So I'm going to put these in, stir it up, and then I'm going to put the lid back on for just 5 or 10 minutes, just to get everything good and heated, and then we will be ready to go. All right, so we'll get this in, and give it another stir. Oh, if you could smell this, with the spices in there, the rosemary, the garlic, starting to waft some pretty awesome scents. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to throw the lid back on. We're going to let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'll pull the lid back up, stir it up again. I think we'll be good to go. So it's looking good. It's smelling good. Hold tight. We'll check on it in about 5 or 10 minutes. So since we added the mushrooms in late, I just wanted to throw a little disclaimer in. I added about this much of a bottle of water in there, just threw it in there with the olive oil and the liquid from the vegetables, just so it could steam those mushrooms up, get them softened up since we did put them in so late. But another few minutes, we're going to take a look. This is going to be awesome. All right, so I've stirred it a couple times. It's been simmering for about 15 more minutes, so let's take a look. So these handles are getting really hot, so we got to use the cool handle here to take the lid off. Ouch. Woo-hoo. Woo. Alrighty. And there we have it. Oh, it smells amazing. All those spices in there, all the different flavors. We're going to give it one last stir, and we're going to serve some up. Okay, get some of that on a plate. There we go. How does that look? That's a one-pot meal. It's a kielbasa and vegetable skillet right out of the Baduri camp oven. So I hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to more one-pot meals coming. So that's it for now. Happy trails.